Emily Parker had always believed in independence. At 24, she had made the biggest leap of her life, moving from sunny California to the bustling, skyscraper-filled streets of Chicago to start her dream job at a top marketing firm. She imagined a life of freedom, ambition, and new experiences, but she hadn't anticipated how lonely it would feel to leave the warmth of her family behind. Her apartment, though cozy, felt eerily silent. The beige walls, neatly arranged furniture, and large windows overlooking the city gave a perfect Instagram-ready image, yet it lacked the laughter, chatter, and chaos of her childhood home. The smell of cookies baking, the late-night conversations, the family dog running around, it was all gone now. Instead, the city buzzed outside her window with energy she couldn't quite reach. Her mother, Linda Parker, had always been the glue of their family. Warm, nurturing, and endlessly patient, she had a way of making everyone feel safe. Emily remembered waking up to Mom's gentle voice calling her for breakfast, her hands filled with warm pancakes and fresh orange juice. Linda's hugs had the power to fix everything, from scraped knees to heartbreaks. Emily missed that every single day. Jake, her younger brother, was the complete opposite of her mother, mischievous, playful, and endlessly teasing. He could be annoying, yes, but he also had a protective streak that Emily loved. He was the one who would defend her in arguments, make her laugh when she was sad, and somehow always know when she needed someone to talk to. Leaving both of them behind had been harder than Emily expected. First letter from Mom. One Friday evening, after a long, grueling day at work, Emily trudged back to her apartment, exhausted. Chicago streets were alive with people rushing to catch trains, taxis honking impatiently, and neon signs flickering in the growing dusk. She walked to her mailbox and froze when her eyes landed on a small envelope addressed to her mother's familiar, neat handwriting. Her heart skipped a beat. Mom, I haven't gotten a letter from her in weeks, Emily thought, a rush of both excitement and nervousness washing over her. She carried the envelope carefully into her living room, sat down on her plush beige couch, and slowly opened it. The paper inside was slightly thick, folded neatly. As she read the first line, tears instantly welled up in her eyes. Dear Emily, we miss you every day. Even though you are far away, our love is always with you. Life will have challenges, but remember, you are never alone. Love always, Mom. Her hands trembled as she clutched the letter close. The words were simple, yet they carried the weight of 1,000 emotions. Emily felt the distance shrink between her and her family, as if her mother's love had traveled hundreds of miles just to embrace her. For a moment, the bustling city outside seemed to disappear. The stress from work, the loneliness, the constant hum of traffic, they all faded. She remembered the small, mundane moments she had taken for granted, laughing at her brother's jokes, helping her mother bake chocolate chip cookies, sitting together on the porch watching the sunset. They all were gone now. First week alone. The following week, Emily found herself oscillating between excitement and loneliness. The marketing firm was everything she had dreamed of, yet it came with its own challenges. Her supervisor expected perfection, deadlines were relentless, and her coworkers seemed confident, polished, and intimidating. Emily tried to fit in, smiled during conversations, and participated in office banter, but often found herself retreating into her thoughts. At lunchtime, she would scroll through her phone, looking at pictures of her family. There was one particular photo that always made her laugh, a candid shot of Jake and the family dog wearing matching sunglasses. Emily would often text him, "I miss this. Can't believe how much I miss home." Jake's reply would come quickly. "We miss you too, but you're handling the city like a boss, right? Mom's letter yet? Did it make you cry?" Emily smiled through her tears. Yes, it did. It reminded me that they're always with me, even if I can't see them. Adjusting to Chicago life. Emily slowly tried to adapt to life in the city. Weekends were spent exploring neighborhoods, discovering hidden cafes, and walking along Lake Michigan. She loved the skyline, the sounds, and the energy, But something was always missing. Even when surrounded by people, she felt a quiet emptiness, a longing for her family's laughter and warmth. At work, she pushed herself to excel. She spent long hours perfecting presentations, analyzing marketing campaigns, and building relationships with clients. Despite her achievements, she often came home feeling drained. The apartment, no matter how neatly arranged or filled with decor, felt cold. It was during these moments that Emily clutched her mother's letter the most. She would read it over and over, drawing strength from her mother's words. "You are never alone." A call from Jake. One rainy Sunday evening, Emily decided to call Jake. Seeing his face on the screen brought a wave of comfort she hadn't realized she needed. Jake said, "Hey sis, how's my big city girl doing?" Emily smiled through her tears. "I miss you and Mom. This city is exciting but lonely sometimes." Jake, "Yeah, I know. Mom's letter, huh? Got you crying again?" Emily laughed softly. "Yes, it did. It reminded me of home, of family, of love." They spent hours talking, sharing memories, laughing at silly childhood moments, and even arguing playfully over who was better at board games. By the end of the call, Emily felt lighter, as if the distance between them had shrunk just a little. Reflection and realization. As the weeks passed, Emily began to understand the delicate balance of independence and connection. She learned that it was okay to feel lonely and miss home. It didn't make her weak. In fact, these feelings reminded her of the love she had waiting for her back in California. Every evening, she would sit on her balcony, looking at the shimmering city lights, journal in hand. She wrote letters to her mom, even if she didn't send them. They were full of reflections, gratitude, and sometimes just words about her day. Writing helped her process her emotions and reminded her of who she was and where she came from. She realized that independence wasn't about doing everything alone. It was about carrying love, values, and memories with her wherever she went. Even thousands of miles away, her family's love was a guiding light that gave her strength. Emily Parker had finally settled into her new life in Chicago. Her apartment felt more like home now, with a small bookshelf filled with her favorite novels, pictures of her family on the walls, and a few indoor plants she had carefully nurtured. Yet, despite the small comforts she created, loneliness often crept in during the quiet hours of the night. Work had become more demanding. Emily's supervisor, Claire, expected perfection. Each project came with high stakes, and Emily often stayed late to revise presentations or ensure campaigns were flawless. Her coworkers seemed effortlessly confident, navigating office politics with ease. Emily, on the other hand, struggled to find her place. While she was talented and hardworking, self-doubt gnawed at her constantly. A tough project. One Monday morning, Claire called Emily into her office. Claire said, "Emily, I'm giving you the Thompson account. It's a big client and they expect nothing less than extraordinary. Can I count on you?" Emily nodded, trying to mask the anxiety swelling in her chest. Emily said, "Of course, I'll give it my best." The meeting left her feeling tense. The Thompson account was a massive project that could elevate her career if successful or set her back if anything went wrong. As she returned to her desk, she felt the weight of responsibility settle heavily on her shoulders. Loneliness and emotional strain. Over the next few days, Emily threw herself into work. She researched, analyzed, and brainstormed late into the night. She often skipped meals, ate cold leftovers at her desk, and barely noticed the passing hours. The city outside her window glowed with life, but she felt isolated in her small bubble of work. Evenings became the hardest. Emily would come home exhausted, her mind racing with deadlines, client expectations, and office politics. She would sit on her balcony, staring at the Chicago skyline, longing for the comfort of home. Her mother's letters were her lifeline, a connection to the warmth she craved. She reread them over and over, drawing strength from each word. One night, after a particularly stressful day, Emily finally broke down. Tears streamed down her face as she hugged her mother's letter close. She whispered softly, "I wish you were here, Mom. I wish I had Jake to make me laugh. I feel so alone." Her journal became her confidant. She wrote about her fears, frustrations, and small victories. Writing helped her process her emotions and reminded her that even in the city's vastness, she was not truly alone. A call that changed everything. A few days later, Emily decided to call her mother. The moment Linda's face appeared on the screen, Emily felt an overwhelming wave of comfort. Linda said, "Emily, how's my city girl doing?" Emily said, tear-eyed, "Mom, it's been hard. Work is intense, and I miss home so much." Linda replied, "I know, honey, but remember, challenges are part of growth. You are stronger than you think, and no matter what, our love is with you." Hearing her mother's reassuring voice, Emily felt a small but significant shift within herself. She realized that acknowledging her struggles didn't make her weak, it made her human. Workplace conflicts. Despite